Hey, are you wondering how well you're doing with your bookkeeping? Maybe you're at a total loss of where to begin, and maybe you're not sure how well you're actually doing. You just need to know the next steps to take. During a bookkeeping strength assessment, I work with business owners one-on-one for about 30 minutes and identify what their next step needs to be. I'll lead the conversation by asking some open-ended questions and then ask 10 laser-focused questions so I can pinpoint exactly what you should be doing next and how strong you are with your bookkeeping. Business owners find this to be the boost of confidence they need to tackle their bookkeeping head-on. To get on my calendar for a free session, you can email me at lydia@dacbalance.com or message me on Instagram at lydia.miller.mba. Now on with the show. Hey there, my name is Lydia Miller, and I want you to be successful with your numbers no matter what stage of business you're in. This podcast will help you do just that. Learn about doing your bookkeeping yourself, outsourcing your bookkeeping successfully to a professional, and understanding your numbers and the story they're telling. We can avoid the overwhelm and continue creating a business we love to run. Welcome back to the podcast. Throughout the month of December, I'm sharing ways that I have prepared for 2020 and systems and processes that I put in place in 2019 that make me feel really good about how productive that I can be in 2020. Now, this is December 6th. My due date for my first baby was December the 1st, and I'm recording this ahead of time, so I have no idea if I'm already holding my newborn or if I'm still waiting. But since you're listening to this and it's December 6th, it's kind of futuristic and weird, but pretty cool. So in 2019, I really focused on finding things that work for me and ignoring things that don't, even if it works for everyone else. So for some people, certain types of technology work great for them, and it was a struggle for me to use. And I really decided to let go of those things and to only focus on systems that keep me productive. And that's what I want to talk about today. 3 systems and products that have made me the most productive I've ever been in my business and in my life. And they are, number 1, PowerSheets by Laura Casey with Cultivate What Matters. Number 2, the Simplified Planner by Emily Lay with Simplified. And number 3, the Sunday Basket by Lisa Woodruff with Organize 365. I've used these systems separately before in various times of my life, but it wasn't until I used all 3 of them together that I really found progress and productivity. So in 2018, I used my Simplified Planner religiously, and I still do. I've used this paper planner since 2016, and I have always loved a paper planner, but this one was by far my favorite. The design really is simple and the covers are beautiful, and I love the daily version because it gives me lots of space for to-do lists and such. I tried to switch to a Google Calendar after hearing other people using it and being more productive, but I just couldn't get used to the Google Calendar, and my brain wants to write reminders down instead of typing them into the computer, so the paper planner is here to stay. The problem that I found with just using a paper planner for planning and for productivity is that I still didn't have a place to write down my goals, and I wasn't accomplishing as much as I thought that I would. So it was either 2017 or 2018, I bought the 6-month version of PowerSheets, and I don't think that I used them much, and I definitely did not use them consistently. So at the end of 2018, I bought the 2019 PowerSheets and decided that I was going to accomplish my goals that I set out and actually use the PowerSheets. My friend Shayla and I have a meeting once a week all year in 2019 to go over our progress and hold each other accountable for using our PowerSheets and getting our goals done. So 100%. That is why PowerSheets worked so well for me this year, because without her, I would have never used them to their full potential at all. So I have loved using them and tracking my progress on paper and really being able to look back and see just how far I've come on bad days when I feel like I'm behind or like I'm not getting anywhere. And just the difference between January and now is astounding. And we're going to continue meeting in 2020 with both of our new babies in our arms. Side note, if you hear me breathing or hear my breathing, it's because I'm 30 something weeks pregnant and this kid is like pushing on my lungs, making it hard to catch my breath. So I apologize for the audio quality is not up to, where I want it to be, but that's where I'm at right now. Hence the new baby soon to be in my arms. Back to the podcast. But I still, even through using my Simplified Planner, my PowerSheets, I still was not as productive as I would have liked to have been. And my PowerSheets they just didn't fit all the things that were rolling around in my head. Now, don't get me wrong, I got a lot accomplished, but I was still wasting time and wondering what I should be working on. And I love PowerSheets because you can write down your big goals and you can break them down, but I was still finding myself frustrated that I wasn't completing things on the list and I wasn't sure how to keep track of more details that I had. I tried using the Simplified Planner for this, but I just kept rewriting lists over and over and over again or being unsure of where to put things in my calendar, and the systems together they just weren't creating the result that I was looking for. I've been following Lisa Woodruff with Organized 365 for probably 4 years now. I found her through a podcast on opening up a home organization business, and I think I've listened to every single one of her Organized 365 podcast episodes through at least twice. And she has a system called the Sunday Basket that manages your household paper and to-dos. And I'm pretty sure that I'm 100% sure that I put a Sunday Basket together before, but it didn't stick because I wasn't using her official system and I didn't set it up the right way. And I didn't decide that I was going to be consistent with it until now. So in September, I ordered the official Sunday Basket in white and I set it up how she teaches. She has 2 training videos on this and an entire podcast on how to manage your Sunday Basket. It's called the Sunday Basket Podcast. And let me tell you, that was the fuel on the fire. I had already been organized with my Simplified Planner of dates and deadlines and such, but I wasn't getting it done. And PowerSheets helped me to narrow my focus and write out my specific goals that I wanted to accomplish and track them and remind me of my goals every single day. And the Sunday Basket gave me a place to put down all of the action items that I wanted to do, file them, and get back to focused work instead of worrying when I was going to get around to all the things that were in my head. So for example, part of the Sunday Basket system is having 3x5 cards within your reach. And every time something pops in your head of something that you want to do or finish, or an errand, or just all the things that we as women keep in our heads, is to just write it down and drop it in your Sunday Basket if it can wait until Sunday. So the very first week that I had my Sunday Basket, I went to Target and I bought 300 blank 3x5 cards. They were $1 for 100. So I spent $3 and I went through 150 cards. Seriously, 150 cards. I don't know. And they were all different ideas for the most part. They were all different things in the business and things at the house. I was like, oh, I want to do this and oh, I need to do that. And oh, I forgot about this. And oh, that needs to get done. And just every time something would come in my head of like, oh, you need to do this. Oh, you should do that. I would just write it down and drop it in my basket. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I was amazed with how many things I was just holding onto in my brain. There were a few duplicates in the cards, but for the most part, it was just little things that added up to being overwhelming and, overwhelming my brain. And I was not being productive because I was so worried about all the things I couldn't focus on. And I wasn't getting my goals done because I was focusing on way too many other things and holding those things in my brain. So I did somewhat of a Sunday Basket intensive that week after getting it set up. You're only supposed to go through your cards once a week, but I went through my cards every single day. And then I filed them into my slash pockets that they belong in because it was getting crazy and I didn't want to give it up, on Sunday because I knew I was going to get way overwhelmed. And so that's what I did is that week I just filed all my cards every single day. I went through and I was like, okay, this is important. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I just made sure that everything was where it was supposed to be. And that is what made me more productive. I chose the things to focus on in my business and life that I was finally making amazing traction on my goals and being super productive. All of these systems are great on their own, but I have found that by using all three, I am the most productive version of myself. So for example, I have never been this far ahead in podcasting. If you've been listening to the podcast, you'll know several months I just didn't release an episode, or I released them all at the same time, or it just wasn't consistent whatsoever. And right now it's at the end of September, and I've accomplished almost every single one of my October goals, my PowerSheets. And I'm secretly hoping to get them all done before October 1st so that I can create new goals and work through my November and December PowerSheets in October to get as much done before the baby gets here as possible. But we'll see how that goes, because whenever I wrote this, it was not October 1st. And today it is. So, but I'm still way far ahead of where I thought that I would be, which is really exciting. I think this is one of the biggest wins that I had in 2019 is becoming really, really consistent with those three systems and letting them work in their strength and helping me become super productive. So if you've never heard of those before, I have linked them in the blog post for you to check out their creators, and you can order them if you would like to. I am not an affiliate of any of them. This is not sponsored. I'm just a girl who loves them and who has found a lot of productivity in my life, and honestly a lot less stress, and things just aren't being kept in my head all the time, which is a major win for me, and I just wanted to share with you guys. So next week, I will be talking about why I moved back to QuickBooks Desktop. And until then, I'll hopefully be snuggling a newborn and enjoying this new season of life. I would be honored to work with you when I get back from maternity leave in January. To get started, you can email me at lydia@dacbalance.com with the problem that you're having, and we can discuss the best way to get to a solution in a bookkeeping strength assessment call. If you are ready to use your numbers to help your business, please subscribe so you'll be notified when the next episode drops. And I would love to connect with you. You can find me on Instagram at lydia.miller.mba and always by email lydia@dacbalance.com. So until next time, go and make it happen.